What's up, my good people? If you are here for the first time, welcome to my channel, and if not, then welcome back. So in today's video, we'll be talking about The View and one of their latest hosts. Her name is Lindsey Granger. And for those of you who don't know who Lindsey Granger is, she's the host of a show called The Daily Blast. Now, Lindsey was on The View hosting for 2 days. She hosted 2 days in a row, and I enjoyed her very much. I was looking forward to seeing her there today again, but she wasn't there. There is actually 4 hosts on the show right now, and there's usually a conservative host. I'm not sure if she's a conservative, but she was sitting in the chair that is usually reserved for the conservative host. Now, but then again, anybody with an ounce of common sense is being labeled conservative these days, so I wouldn't be surprised. Now, let me tell you, Lindsey argued with facts, and those other ladies, all they did was just argue with feelings and emotions. And we all know when you argue with feelings and emotions, it clouds any judgment of thinking rationally. But like I said, Lindsey was great, and I really do hope to see her again. Because you know, those 4 leftist women on the show, they go in. You know how vicious they can be towards anybody who doesn't share their politics. And it's just sad that the show is called The View, but you're only allowed to have one view. So I got clips of both days she was on the show, and we're going to be going through those clips right now, and we're going to be discussing. All right, so before I pull up the clip, I just want to encourage you to go on ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And also, it would really help if you give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment, and hit the notification bell so you'd be notified whenever I upload a new video. All right, so let's get down into the first clip, and we'll be pausing throughout the clip and discussing. So here we go.
So we were in the midst of this conversation. Joy, do you remember what you were saying?
Of course not. No, no, I was saying basically that critical race theory to me is history. It's history. And this country, a lot of people in this country don't want to look at the history of this country. So reparations are similar in that you have to admit that something went on in history for you to repair it.
Yeah. And I think that we have admitted that, and we discuss slavery in textbooks, and to me, my problem...
Who has admitted it?
Like, all what we're learning in schools, I'm talking about. Like,
really?
we're learning about slavery for sure. And I think we should learn about the fact that Africans started the vaccination process. Yeah. That was the African tradition. Why have I never heard that until I was a grown adult?
Well, first
Why
you're
did I
saying
not know
we're
about
learning it, and now,
until I was in college?
First you're saying we're learning it, and now you're saying...
No, I'm saying that we
have slavery is the
right,
only
you're misinterpreting my point intentionally. You know what I said. I said that we're learning about the victimization of black people consistently. That's a fact. And so I think looking at how law applies to black people and victimizes them through race, right, and how race applies to law is important to do, but also celebrating blackness and black beauty is important.
We do that.
No, we don't do that enough in school. That's not my experience. Is that your experience going to a predominantly white
doing
school?
it now.
It's certainly not my experience.
I like this. I like this. Basically, what this woman is saying right now, we spend so much time in school teaching about black oppression and black pain and black this and black that, and it's just, everybody's just like drowned in black victimhood. What about black success? What about black people winning? What about black people being on top? Like, black people are the best we have ever been in all the history of black people. I think, I mean, that's just my opinion. And that's exactly what she's saying right now. There are a lot of black success that we're not aware of because we're so focused on the negative things. The oppression, this, that, and half of it is not even true in today's day and age.
What you have to understand, Lindsey, is that what the Republican agenda is to not only stop teaching about slavery, but also to not teach about black excellence. That is what is happening. Books are being banned, learning systems are being restricted all over this country. And so when you say things like black people being victimized, you're parroting their talking points. And you got to be really careful about that.
No, because I don't think, like, what do you mean? You're talking about the book. Let's talk about the book from yesterday. You're talking about, like, Anti-Racist Baby is not the book that I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, she's not parodying anything. It is true. Every time you turn on your TV, every argument you hear being discussed about black people is how poorly black people are doing, and there's very little argument being made about how successful a lot of black people are doing today right now. And this is just a blatant lie Sonny Austin is I'm telling right here.
Talking about that celebrates black excellence. I understand that teaches white people about being anti-racist.
It teaches
I understand
children
exactly.
to
but
talk
that's not.
about racism.
But that is not the book I'm talking about. Let's talk about the book that teaches children about all the beauty that came before you and how over a few
They're
generations,
banning those books too.
over a few generations,
They're banning
we went
those
from
books
slavery
too.
to the White House.
They're banning those
Let's
books
talk about-
too.
But,
No.
but Lindsey, can I
Name
get
it.
Yeah, they
Name
are.
the
Yeah, they
books.
are.
Name the books.
They're banning all.
Name the books.
They want to ban Bakari Sellers' book. They want to
Sonny, come on.
ban his book about black excellence in children. That's one book.
Lindsey, what I hear
got a
you
list
saying,
of
though, is a
them.
mistake that often happens, which Joy's saying, is that anyone that opposes CRT is opposed to black history. There's a different lane there. The right might be doing that, Sonny. There are people
They're confusing
that have
CRT,
bad
which is
faith.
a law school course.
Right, but critical race theory has become an umbrella term for some other things that are happening. I hear what you're
It's
saying,
only
Lindsey,
becoming
which
an
is
umbrella term
that-
because
You see, this is the thing that bothers me. Nobody is confusing anything with CRT. It is CRT. They just changed the name of it. We're gonna give this guy some beer, but we're not gonna call it beer. We're gonna call it something else, but it's still going to be beer. Changing the name of CRT to something else so it's more suitable to the ears of parents, so you can teach that to kids. It doesn't mean it's not CRT. It is being taught in a lot of schools. There are some schools that are even asking children to rank their privilege and all that stuff. All that stuff is a part of CRT. What is Sonny even talking about?
Republicans are making it that
Well,
way.
No, the problem
and
is the
people
packaging.
like Lindsey
The
are buying
no,
into
the problem
it.
is the packaging. Look, don't clap for that. The problem is the packaging.
They can clap for whatever they want to
You
clap
call it
for.
critical race theory, and you're packaging it as a Harvard class, and then you're wondering why people are not buying into it for 2-year-olds.
Critical
Like, it
race
doesn't make
theory
sense.
is
And the audience, the audience is just there because these women are spewing the things that the audience want to hear, and that's the reason why they're clapping. They're not even listening to Lindsey at this point and taking what she's saying into account.
is a Harvard law class. It's a Harvard discipline that was started by Derek Bell. There's a troll, remind me in my ear of his name.
Christopher Rufo is who you're
Christopher
talking
Rufo,
about.
who decided that he was going to call African-American history and the history of this country critical race theory. And people like you have bought into it. And
But I
that's
don't think
a
all
shame.
the parents that are opposing what we saw in Virginia, what we're seeing in San Francisco, one of the most liberal cities, is that the reason it's hitting the left hand.
Sonny, I don't think anybody in their right mind is against teaching history or African American history in schools. That is not what is being taught. What is being taught now is not even African American history anymore. It's telling one group that they have an unfair advantage and telling the other group that they have a couple of strikes against them all because of the color of their skin. That is really what is being taught in schools.
And the right is there something that's being missed, which is excused every time someone says it's not CRT.
And we have to acknowledge that parents are asking to be involved in this conversation, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
So we should allow them to have space to talk at the table with their children.
Shouldn't
we all
parents-
have children, and we understand how
Shouldn't
important that
parents
is.
want to normalize discussions about race and racism?
For sure, but it should be their choice to decide.
And there you have it. That is the view, y'all.
Yeah, it should be the parents' choice to decide. I mean, I would definitely, if I don't have kids right now, but if I should ever have kids, of course, I would have the discussion with them about race and racism. But I would want that to be my choice and not the school's choice to teach them whatever they think they should teach them or whatever they should know. This is just ridiculous. I have another clip, so I'm going to have to make another video because I'm trying to keep these videos as short as possible. I'm still not perfect at this as yet, so hopefully the shorter these videos are, the more people will want to watch. And you can just check out the next side of the other clip in the next video.